Welcome back to Forecast Sports. It's me, William, and today we are going through some World Cup match previews. The World Cup is starting tomorrow. Let's go. I cannot wait. This is the greatest part for the next 4 years, so let's make the most of it. I cannot wait. Today we're going to go through Brazil versus Morocco, Iran versus New Zealand, France versus Senegal, and then a few predictions from there. So let's go for the gold here and listen closely. Alright, so let's kick off our previews with Brazil versus Morocco. Now this is one of those intensely weighted games where it could go nearly any way. Like, Brazil, they've got the upper hand here, I feel, of course, as they have all that history behind them. But then Morocco, what they did in the 2022 World Cup was quite incredible. So imagine if they could do it again. That would be quite historic. So I'm looking forward to this match, and it's one of those games that everyone wants to watch because of the upset that could occur. They're also in Group C, which is a pool with Scotland and Haiti. So upsets could be everywhere within that group. So it could get quite interesting between these two sides. And this match could mean a hell of a lot for this World Cup. So obviously this game's on Saturday the 13th over in America at New York, New Jersey Stadium. So obviously there's going to be some hate over at the World Cup, so that'll be interesting to see how they get on with that. I think these two sides will be quite used to that. Brazil have been in decent form with three wins in a row in the past three, and then they had a loss and a draw before that, and obviously in the friendlies beat Panama 6-2, so they have definitely got attacking power within their side, and that's what really excites me about them. They can definitely produce some exciting moments. Brazil, of course. Brazil play Brazilian football, and that's so entertaining. Morocco, over the past 5 matches, they've drawn 2 and won 3, so haven't lost in the past 5, which is quite interesting for them. But they've had some big wins within that and a lot of goals. So this match, I think, will produce a lot of goals and entertainment. Let's go. We cannot wait for this one because it's going to be some entertaining football. The strengths for Brazil lie on their left side, as we see up here. Vinicius, obviously on the left, he's just their creator, sort of. He's got quite a decent bit of experience behind him as well, and they create those left side overloads and pressures down that side. Rafinha's played down the left, so it could be interesting to see how they all match up. And then it will be interesting to see how they attack this, because Morocco down that right side as well are actually really strong. Achraf Hakimi obviously is the man, and at right back he is their top player, and Bouadi is an excitement. Morocco on the quick transitions are best, so that could be also interesting, because Brazil in defence of transitions, or especially when they are high, they are weak. That's when they can get caught on those breaks. So I'm excited to see how Morocco attack this. Do they just sit back and let Brazil try to attack, when really Brazil can break down teams pretty well? But Morocco on that transition, their link play is quite phenomenal. The questions come from Morocco around their finishing, though. Saibari is obviously up front, but can they put the ball in the back of the net? They've struggled to recently. That's a big question because, no, they have scored lots of goals, but can they do it in these big matches? That's the question. Against Brazil, who are actually quite underrated this tournament. I think everyone's kind of put them on a low level, and their defence is possibly not where they want it to be. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this Brazilian side plays out. Vinny Jr., obviously the key player there, and then Rafinha up front. Yeah, that attack, and then Igor Thiago might come on. Cunha obviously is striker, but it could be Igor Thiago. Who knows? I'm quite interested to see how they work those front players because Neymar's there as well. He's coming off an injury, so how do they work that out? It's one of those questions where it could go either way, and it can become an issue. It's a good issue, but then it's also a bad issue at times. If you don't pick the right player, then that could cost in big games. So they'll be testing these waters in these group stage games, but the thing is they need to win. So they'll come to a bit of a expectation around these sort of matches. Hakimi from Morocco, he is going to be central to them making it through because he is such an experience, such an engine for Morocco at right back. And Bouadi, who's only 18 years of age, defensive midfielder, I cannot wait to look at him. I want to see how he goes because there's a bit of hype around him, and there's hype around this full Moroccan side. And I think it really does, these two sides match up quite evenly. I think these are two sides that will be tight. There'll be big battles within this match. One possibility that could occur if one team does score, though, is do they just sit back after they score and then play on the transition, which is one strength for both of the sides, and also it means, Brazil like to play entertaining. Both sides actually like to play entertaining football, so perfect match to watch. Sorry, not really getting out the words at the moment, but these two sides, I don't know whether they're going to want to sit back and hold the game, or are they just going to keep going. It'll be interesting to see because the transitions are where Brazil, for example, are going to get beaten. They're going to get beaten on the transitions. So do they just sit back if they go ahead? I doubt it, but who knows? I think, this is going to be a high-scoring encounter, and all about how they defend, getting back, whoever can defend those quick attackers, because they both have some exciting attackers. Brahim Diaz for Morocco, he's an exciting prospect for them. So it'll be interesting to see whether whoever can, for example, Gabriel's perfect for getting back and defending. It's those are the players that are going to stand out in this game. Those players that can stop those quick transitions, because that will be what the game will be based on, and what I've been talking about for the last however many minutes. My prediction, though, the biggest part, the forecast from me, Brazil will win 3-2 over Morocco. I think they'll still just be a bit too quality for Morocco, but it will be an entertaining match. I tell you that now. Thanks. We'll be back in a moment. Onto the player spotlight for this upcoming World Cup round, and I think the player that will be under the spotlight will be Michael Olise. Not just because he is incredible with his attacking prowess and phenomenal chance creation, but it's also the influence on France, how he can influence the games. Because if he can influence the games as much as he can do, then I think France will find great gains from this. But also the combination with him with Mbappe could be interesting to see. Is Mbappe able to use his assists or chances he creates, or will he be selfish and not be able to finish? This will be interesting. Watch Michael Olise. Okay, on to my preview for Iran versus New Zealand. Now for this match, I hope actually that New Zealand get heaps of supporters for Tim Payne, because this will urge them on as the bottom ranked side in this World Cup to get something out of these matches, because I think they can. I think they've got what it takes to get points, because they've done it before. They went undefeated in one World Cup, and I just like this team. And it's some people have been saying, oh, New Zealand, no big names other than Chris Wood, no yada yada yada, but I think quietly they have quite a good side. They just need to pull all the pins together. Iran, to be honest, I don't know a hell of a lot about, but I know they've got Taremi and Gayardi, who are quite influential within their team. Iran, of course, have won all of their last 3 matches, and then lost 2 before that. And then New Zealand lost their most recent game to England 1-0, which is a good result for them. They'll be really happy. And then before that, lost to Haiti 4-0. So disappointed about that. And then they won against Chile 4-0 after a red card. So that was quite an incredible performance to watch. And then the 2 games before that, they've lost. So New Zealand, they're not the most consistent of sides recently, but it'll be interesting to see whether they can pull this game off. This game is on Monday the 15th over in America, and it is a clash for Group G. The other 2 sides are Egypt and Belgium. So it's quite important, this game, because it could decide who qualifies, possibly for a 3rd place spot or even a 2nd place spot, because nothing is certain when it comes to the World Cup. This is at Los Angeles Stadium, so over in America, all these games I'm previewing are in the USA, I think, and it'll be hot. That's what I've been saying. It's going to be hot there, and they're going to need their breaks, so it'll be interesting to see how everyone copes with that. The strengths for Iran, they're great on that left side. That's where they attack the best. And again, I don't know a hell of a lot about them, but I know down that left side with Taremi and Gayardi, that's where they create the opportunities from the limited amount of games I've watched. They're weaker in set pieces and clearing out, so the defenders struggle to get the ball away at crucial moments, so that could be interesting, and see how Chris Wood can get on to the end of them, because that would be great for New Zealanders, of course, my fellow New Zealanders. New Zealand strong on quick breaks, and those transitions. We saw, like, for example, Eli Just was quite good last game, making those breaks. He just couldn't find those final balls, and we weren't able to put the finishing touches on it. So that's a weakness for us, the finishing touches, and getting back in defending at times, especially against Haiti. So we could see a really interesting encounter. Like, I don't know how the All Whites will survive, perform against Iran. It's a really 50-50. I don't know whether they'll stay with what they did against England, or they'll try attack more. And that could be quite decisive in how they finish this game, really. As I said before, Gaidi and Taremi are the players for Iran who will be dangerous, and that's where the matchups come, because I think Finn Surman is one of the best defender for New Zealand because of his great shot blocking ability. He stood out to me against England. There's so many times he was just in the middle of it. Every time he was there for the block. And he's played against Messi. He's defended him over in the MLS. So I think we are quite well balanced against this attack. Tim Payne, obviously, the man everyone talks about now because of his incredible amount of followers on Instagram. But I think he'll have to put in a big effort, and this could be the live or die for Tim Payne this game, because he will get pushed against this left-sided Iran side. Chris Wood is going to be big for New Zealand if they are going to win, because he will need to put his chances away and hold that ball up, because New Zealand, let's be honest, are not going to get a hell of a lot of opportunities this World Cup. And if Chris Wood can take those opportunities when they come and be the man who's linking up and holding the ball up for New Zealand, because we don't have a heap of talent up front, other than Chris Wood, of course. I mean, we do, but not Chris Wood level, of course. So he's going to be so important to being able for New Zealand to finish and put the ball in the back of the net. I thought Stamenic was also great against England, so hopefully he can put in a performance again. But the big tactical point is this match is going to be about transitional speed, the speed of the game. It's going to be exciting because New Zealand are going to want to hit Iran on the counter at speed, because that is the only way they're going to get past, I think. They're not going to dominate the ball. So these two sides are going to be, this is going to be end-to-end football. So what an exciting watch. Watch Tim Payne and the All Whites put on some entertainment against Iran. What is going to decide who wins the game is the execution up front, I think, and that is where Chris Wood, of course, is the man, and those Iranian attackers are going to be big, and that's where it's going to be won. I have predicted and forecasted for this match overall to be a draw, 1-1. Okay, watch out for more. Okay, it's ranked time, and today I'm going to do the top 3 teams with the most to prove in this game week 1 of the FIFA World Cup. And at 3, I have Germany. They have so much to prove coming into this World Cup because they've struggled at recent tournaments. Can they execute in those big matches? That is so important for them to get that straight. Second is Croatia. Can they do it again? Can they do 2022 again? They are an ageing side. Luka Modric, of course, I think will still be vital for them. But they have something to prove, whether they can do it again, whether they can produce that magic and still be the side they were. And first, the biggest side that needs to prove who they are is Belgium. Are they still a shot at winning at this high level? They have some exciting young players. Jeremy Doku, for example. They are going to be exciting, but can they beat and play as a team to beat these big sides? Alright, listen for more. Alright, on to the preview for France versus Senegal. So this one's going to be interesting France have won. They won their last friendly, but then also before that lost to Ivory Coast, as everyone knows, 2-1. So that was a massive loss in a friendly. And then the 3 games before they've won, while Senegal, they drew their most recent match, lost the one before, and then won the other 2, and then lost one before. So, and a bit of inconsistency around these 2 sides recently, but of course those are friendlies. They often don't matter a lot going into the World Cup. So this game, France vs Senegal, is on Tuesday the 16th, and it's Group I. So an interesting group, because these 2 are most likely to get through that group. So it'll be interesting. This one's deciding possibly who can get through top. But remember also, Norway are also in this group, so it could be interesting. These sides may need they'll likely need points of this game, because Norway are going to be tight behind these 2 sides, so, and maybe even ahead of them. So this is obviously, as always is, a big encounter. Alright, so France, they are best at breaking the lines. They've got playmakers and breaking blocks, like low blocks. Olise, the playmaker of the side. But they've also got some great, exciting players. And of course, Mbappe up front, the man to finish it off. And the Ballon d'Or winner, Ousmane Dembele. It'll be interesting to see how he works within the setup. Their weaknesses have been, though, rush defending from fast wingers and getting behind them, but I think William Saliba being back now will be better and be able to bring a bit more solidity at the back. That's where Ndiaye off the right for Senegal will put a lot of pressure on them, but Saliba, I think, will be better than Kanate at locking him down and being able to solidify and quieten those attacks. Senegal, yes, they are right-sided, as I just said. Iliman Ndiaye, playing at right wing or right midfield, he will be important with Diarra linking up and moving down that right, because he is their best player, I would say, Iliman Ndiaye. Although this is quite a balanced side, but we could see him being the main man within these counterattacks. They are quite vulnerable, though, with opposition counterattacks on their own right. That's because of the movement of Ndiaye moving forward, and their fullbacks, Diatta, often moving too high, and then them getting caught behind. But I don't think they should have too many problems, because they most likely will be behind the ball for most of the game, and then those counter-attacks they will try attack from, and that's possibly where France are most likely to get through. Olise isn't on that side, obviously. Doué will be the man running down that his left line, which will be, so he'll want to make use of those holes behind there. What else do we have? We've got, so Mbappe and Olise, that combination will be interesting to watch, and Dembele as well. So those three, how will they work it together? With all three of them, pretty much, you could give any of them the Ballon d'Ors right now, and no one would be complaining, because they are all just phenomenal footballers. Michael Olise, at the moment though, the star, with some incredible moments within the friendlies and at Bayern Munich. So he will change this setup for France and I think he'll try to hold that main man role, while Mbappe, and I heard from some pundit that Mbappe's likely to be selfish because he wants that main role. So it could be disastrous, this World Cup for France. But I think there's too much quality for them not to win matches like this. But it could be interesting, especially in the latter parts of the tournament. One tactical point, I think, for this game is that it's going to be entertaining, like the other two I've said before. It's going to be end-to-end football because we've got so many attacking players on both sides, such as Sadio Mane. We haven't even talked about him, and he is a phenomenal footballer. He's aging now, but he is going to be one of those exciting players to watch for Senegal. Nicholas Jackson, if he can put the ball in the back of the net, I think Senegal will play well. He's just got to fix that execution he's been struggling with recently. And France, they just like attacking. So I think this is going to be the game of attacking. But the thing that could change a game could be Olise control. If he can find control within this game, he can win anyone matches. Same as Mbappe, of course. Desiree Doué even won the PSG pretty much single-handedly the Champions League last year, and Dembele, of course, he's a Ballon d'Or winner. So those front four literally can change a game with a flick of a light switch. They are the guys to watch out for. If they can get control within this match, especially Michael Olise, I think they will have this in the palm of their hand. I forecast France to win 3-1 over Senegal. Okay, now I'm going to do quick predictions for the next week of football matches at the FIFA World Cup. Let's go. Mexico versus South Africa. Opening match, I think Mexico can do it 2-0. Okay, second, Korea versus Czech Republic. This is going to be a great match, and I think that Czech Republic can keep this to a 2-2 draw. Now, Canada versus Bosnia. Now, this could be really interesting, and I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw because these are two tightly contested sides. USA versus Paraguay. I think USA will stand out within this match and win 3-1. Qatar vs Switzerland. Switzerland will win 4-2 in a high-scoring encounter. Brazil vs Morocco. I've said this before. Brazil will win 3-2 in an entertaining match. Haiti vs Scotland. Eagerly awaiting this game. I am, because how exciting these two teams are coming into this World Cup. I think Scotland can win it 2-1. Australia vs Turkey. This one could also be exciting. 2-2. Germany vs Curacao. Germany, too much quality there. They win 3-0. Netherlands vs Japan. This could also be interesting. I think Japan will win 1-0. Ivory Coast vs Ecuador. Now, this is also a great match. Ecuador, though, I think will shave it out with a 3-1 win. Sweden vs Tunisia. I think Sweden will win 1-0. Spain vs Cape Verde. Spain will win 4-1 in a big high-scoring encounter again. Saudi Arabia vs Uruguay. I think Uruguay will be too much quality there, 2-0. Iran vs New Zealand. I think there will be a 1-1 draw. New Zealand punching above their weight there. France vs Senegal. As I've said before, I think this is going to be a 3-1 win to France. Too much quality there. Norway vs Iraq. Again, too much quality, and Haaland will score a hat-trick, 4-1 to Norway. Argentina vs Algeria. Argentina to take this out 2-1, only by a little bit. Austria vs Jordan. A 1-0 win to Austria, who dominated the game. Portugal vs Congo. This one will be a 3-0 win to Portugal. England vs Croatia. What a match. 3-3 draw. Ghana vs Panama. Ghana to win 3-1. And Uzbekistan versus Colombia, 1-0 to Colombia. That was a mouthful. Thanks for listening. Okay, thank you for listening to this podcast, and I will see you later, but check out our Spotify to listen, and there's also video views of this podcast, and more podcasts come on Spotify, so you can hear it wherever you like, especially on Spotify. So thank you for listening, and we will see you later. Tune in for more.